Hello, Matt, and thank you again for having me on another episode of Leadership Spotlight. And today, the article that we're going to look at is Two of a Kind, a canonical correlational study of transformational leadership and authentic leadership by Brian Joe and Kim Neiman. And Mr. Yo is from the Department of Business Administration, Winona State University, and Miss Kim is from the Department of Learning Technologies, University of North Texas in Denton. Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the article, I want to get some terminology clear. And one of those terminologies, or one of those terms, is canonical. And canonical, or if something is canonical, it follows a principle or rule, usually in relation to religion or religious related activities. Doesn't necessarily have to be religious, but these are two of the areas that you normally see this word appear. And the other term is correlational. And correlational is really something that we spend a lot of time doing in our day-to-day lives. And in research, correlational studies is usually done in quantitative method of research in which you have two or more quantity variables of the same group or subjects, and you are trying to determine if there's any relationship between the two variables. And so when we look at correlation, we will see several things happen. So as we go through this, I'm going to give you an idea of what correlation looks like from a graphical perspective. So here we go. Okay, now let's really examine this article, Two of a Kind, a canonical correlational study of transformational leadership and authentic leadership. And the purpose of this study was to examine the relationship between transformational leadership and authentic leadership, TLAL, using canonical correlational analysis, CCA. The design of this particular study was through a questionnaire. The questionnaire for the authentic leader was the ALQ, and the questionnaire for the transformational leader was the MLQ, Multi-Factor Leadership Questionnaire, MLQ. And both questionnaires were translated from American to Korean by two separate individuals. Now, when we look at this study, the findings indicate that there was a strong variance between these two leadership styles in this setting. The p-value that was used was less than 0.001, which we saw was easily achieved in this particular study. And what we can do based on the findings. One thing about correlational studies, we never make an assumption unless we have the mathematics to back it up. And in this particular instance, we do have the mathematics to back it up. The empirical study was based on employees' perception of two leadership behaviors of their supervisors using a cross-sectional survey method. In addition, this study confined to the employees in a for-profit organization in Korean cultural setting, leaving room for speculation with regard to cultural biases. That's one of the limitations of this particular study, is that we all know that there are some cultural differences between Korean and American, Korean and European. So one of the things that leaping forward we could do is look at how we could do this study in another environment. In concluding, we know that leadership is the driving force that changes employees' behavior and shapes the work environment. In this study, we see two multivariate variables that turn out to have a strong association, that of authentic and transformational leadership. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.